Welcome to the Fall 2020 Power Up Your Scholarship Essay event brought to you by the TCC Northeast Student Success Committee. We're excited to share information with you today about how to access scholarships, the resources available to you through TCC, tips on writing scholarship essays, and testimonials from former TCC students who've benefited from scholarship. We're so glad you're here with us today, and we hope this information helps you further your academic career and your future. First up today, we're going to hear from Mr. Fred Schmidt from the TCC Foundation, as well as helpful resources you have access to here at TCC. So without further ado, here's Mr. Fred Schmidt from the TCC Foundation to start us off.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Very much appreciate the opportunity to share the stuff that the Foundation gets to do as far as working with you all and then our students to award scholarships. Our annual process kicks off in mid-February, where we open up our applications, and we will accept applications typically until the beginning of April for scholarships that will be awarded next fall term, starting in August. And our scholarships are typically 2 semesters, fall and spring, with the renewal. So with that, I've got a video that I'd like to share with you all. It's got relevant information, but do know that we're not yet accepting applications. And also to focus in on your essays, not just for TCC applications, but also for any that you might be going when you move on to a university.
Scholarships are free money that doesn't have to be repaid. There are hundreds of scholarships available for you to attend Tarrant County College through the TCC Foundation. Applying for one of these scholarships is easy. Ready, set, let's go. Start by visiting the TCC Foundation Scholarship website at tccd.edu/scholarships. Then click on Scholarships for Me to apply. Here you can see all of the scholarships that are available, along with the requirements. Now don't worry, the application process is easy. You will not have to apply to each scholarship that you are interested in. You will only have to apply once and fill out a questionnaire. So what do you say we get started? First, sign in using your WebAdvisor login and password. If you don't remember your login or password, you can contact the help desk at 817-515-6411. Once signed on, read all of the directions and tips very carefully. Complete the general application by answering all questions to the best of your knowledge. You will need to write a self-narrative between 300 to 600 words. Here's your chance to let the scholarship committee members know more about you. Write about why you are attending TCC, what you are studying, what your educational and career goals are, and why it's important for you to receive a scholarship. If you need assistance with writing your essay, visit the Writing Lab at any of the TCC campuses. Now for professional references, you will need to reach out to at least 2 people for references. It is your responsibility to make sure your references get their information in on time. So go ahead and enter 3 references to ensure that at least 2 get it done on time. Examples of references to use are instructor, counselor, academic advisor, high school teacher, employer. Remember to use professional references, so no family, friends, or neighbors should be used. And remember to ask your reference for permission first before using them. You're almost done. Before you click the submit button, review everything and make sure that all questions are answered and your application is complete. Applications that are incomplete will be kicked out by the system, leaving you ineligible for scholarship consideration. Once you have submitted your application, you may receive recommended scholarships that fit your profile. It's important to complete the questions from the recommended list. This could help you qualify for a specialty scholarship. You've reached the finish line. You're done. Log into this website to view your application status. That's it. You could be the recipient of a scholarship through the TCC Foundation. If you need further assistance, please contact the TCC Foundation via email at foundation.info@tccd.edu or by phone at 817-515-5277.
Power Up Your Essay virtual attendees. My name is Jandra Williams. I am one of several advisors here on the Northeast campus for Phi Theta Kappa Phi Tau chapter. I want to thank you for allowing me to share some of your time to talk about PTK. What is PTK? PTK is an international honor society, not a sorority, but an honor society, who pride themselves on the 4 pillars of leadership, service, fellowship, and scholarship. Why would you even be interested in Phi Theta Kappa or PTK? Well, PTK offers access to any of its members and all of its members over $90 million of scholarships a year, $46 million in transfer scholarships. And all you have to do is join. To join, you have to pay a one-time $95 fee to join, and that makes you a lifelong member. So our membership campaign is going on currently. How would you know if you have an invitation to join? Well, you would check your My TCC email and your spam box. If you don't find it in your My TCC email, then it may be in your spam box. So it's going to be an invitation to join for Phi Theta Kappa Phi Tau chapter. Again, that's a one-time fee of $95. What is the criteria? Well, I'm glad you asked. You would need a 3.5 GPA in your last 12 credit hours. That means if you took a class in the fall, a couple class in the spring, a couple classes in the summer, then you probably have 12 credit hours. If you have more than 12 credit hours, then you need a 3.5 in those last 12 credit hours with a cumulative GPA of a 3.0. And if you don't know what that means, just contact one of the officers. You can do that by logging on to the TCC Blackboard page, going to the organizational link, clicking on Phi Theta Kappa Phi Tau chapter, and self-enrolling in their organization page. There you'll find a lot of information, calendar dates, as well as officer names and their emails, and the advisors are there as well, just in case you need to contact us. So what else does becoming a member of Phi Theta Kappa afford you? Well, since Phi Theta Kappa is an international honor society, if you get involved, which is not required, but if you get involved, and we do really suggest to get the full range of effect for Phi Theta Kappa that you get involved, you will have the opportunity to travel when we're traveling again, or building your leadership skills, service skills, emotional intelligence skills, or soft skills, what most people call them, connecting with people, gaining lifelong friendships for people with people all over the world. If that's not enough, then again, I stress to you, Phi Theta Kappa gives over $90 million in scholarships a year, $46 million in transfer scholarships. These scholarships are noted like your All USA, Coca-Cola, Geist White, Geico, Nota Bene, and you can find these at ptk.org. Lastly, if you really don't know if this is for you and you're planning on transferring to a 4-year institution, contact that institution that you plan on transferring to. Ask them what the benefits are if you are a Phi Theta Kappa member, and see if your benefits outweigh your risk. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Contact Jandra Williams or contact the officer team, preferably the officer team, by joining My TCC Blackboard page, organization page, Phi Tau chapter.
Hello, my name is Samantha. I work at the Northeast Campus Library, and I'm going to provide a brief overview of current library services. A lot of people may not know that the library has technology devices available for checkout. If you do not own a device or something happens to your device, the library can help you. Right now we have tablets and webcams. The tablets come with a keyboard and they also have built-in Wi-Fi. They can be used as a hotspot to provide internet access to another device, such as your desktop computer or laptop. Keep in mind that to qualify for a device, you must be currently enrolled at TCC, and that devices are first come, first served. To request a device, go to library.tccd.edu/devices. The library also offers virtual tech support. So if you need help with the device you checked out from the library, you can contact tech support and they can help you. Tech support hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. To access library tech help, go to library.tccd.edu and click on the Chat with a TCC Tech Expert button. I'm now going to talk about virtual reference help. In the past, some of you may have visited the library reference desk. Although the physical library building is closed right now, librarians are still available to assist you virtually. TCC librarians are experts at helping you find scholarly and reputable sources for school assignments. They can also assist you in finding information on any topic you would like to learn more about. To contact a librarian, go to the library homepage and click on the Get Help button or on the chat box located at the bottom of the screen. This will open Chat with a Librarian, where you can type a question and receive live help. If you prefer another mode of communication, click on the Get Help, Ask a Librarian link to view a variety of ways to contact librarians. There's even an option to text a librarian. Chat with a Librarian hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now I'm going to talk about the library's virtual Research-a-thon event. The next date for this event is October 8th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be 4 virtual rooms, each staffed with a topic expert on the subjects of plagiarism and citation, databases, search engines, and finding ideas for your research paper. This event is a great way to learn or review the basics of academic research. You can visit all 4 interactive rooms or just the ones covering topics you are interested in. I will include a link to this event on the SSC Blackboard page. We would love it if you join us at this fun and educational event. To meet the demands of online learning, the library has expanded its selection of online resources that you can enjoy from the safety of your home. To access online resources such as ebooks, streaming video, and online journals, you just need to sign into the library's website with your Blackboard username and password. 2 of our librarians compiled a list of ebooks specifically for this event. These books include information on applying for scholarships, writing scholarship essays, creative ways of paying for college, how to select a university, and how to be admitted to the university of your choice. They can be read on your phone, tablet, or computer. This list of ebooks will be available in the SSC Blackboard page. Feel free to share it with anyone else you think might find it useful. For those who prefer hard copies of books and other library resources, such as audiobooks and DVDs, we also offer curbside pickup. You can create a request by logging into the library website with your Blackboard username and password, finding the item, and then clicking Request for Curbside Pickup. You can select any of the 5 TCC campuses as your pickup location. When your item is ready, you will receive an email. Curbside pickup hours are Monday to Tuesday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., and Wednesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you for watching this video. Please visit the SSC Blackboard page for a list of the links and information discussed in this video.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Parrish, and I'm here to talk to you about the Writing Center. The Writing Center is part of the Northeast Academic Learning Center, and we also have the Language Acquisition Center and the Speech Learning Center in that same area. So how does a Writing Center help you? We can help you with any writing assignment you're working on. Today we're specifically going to talk about scholarship essays, but just remember, any writing you're doing, let us know. We're here to help. So what happens during a session? Well, one, we're not going to fix that paper and hand it back to you. We do work with you one-on-one. We read through your essay, and we're going to give you some feedback on the overall organization. Does it make sense? Are you following the thoughts. Does the paper connect as a whole? So we want to look at the big picture and make sure that you're on track and that paper makes sense, it flows, you're building your points, you're adding to it, you're giving us details. And in some places you may be giving too many details and you may need to move them somewhere else, or there may be places where you're not specific enough and you need to add details. So that's the kind of information we're going to give back to you. We'll also look at grammar at the same time, and we can help you multiple times on the same assignment. So you can, of course, in this case, it's a scholarship essay, so you'll want to come in multiple times for that. But any writing you're doing, there's no limit for the number of sessions you have for that assignment. So just remember that for down the road. But our overall goal is to help you find your strengths and weaknesses, because we want you to become confident writers and know what you need to do to proofread your own work and what corrections that you generally need to make as a writer. And specifically for scholarships, because that needs to be your best work. Now, writing can be difficult in general, and writing about yourself a lot of times is intimidating for students. And in this case, you're also asking for money, and that can be even a little scarier. So start early, look at that prompt, and it may help to think about the prompt like an interview question. If you were to go into a scholarship committee and say, "Hi, nice to meet you, sit down, tell us about yourself. Now, how will this money help you? How will it change your life as a student?" That's the prompt they're giving you. So when you write your essay, you're responding to that like it's a question they asked you. And just remember, be yourself. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Tell your story. That's how they award this money. Just remember, these scholarships are created through donations by organizations and individuals. And all of them realize the importance of education and also how hard it can be to be a student financially. We all remember having a rough time trying to make that money spread throughout the semester. So this money is there because they know it does good and they want to help you. So write, tell your story, and be honest. And make sure that you're yourself. You're not there to try and sound like an encyclopedia or to talk like someone else. Use your vocabulary, use your words. The great thing is the Writing Center is here to help you do this. So we will work on this together. Right now we have 2 ways to get some help. We have online feedback. We say this is asynchronous because we're not there at the same time. You'll email your essay, and in this case, assignment guidelines, they would be the prompt for the essay, for your scholarship essay, to any_writinglab@tccd.edu. And we will work through that paper, make notes about any grammar issues we see, and then spend a lot of time giving you suggestions on how that answer's going. What, are you telling the story? Where do you need to add details? Where can you be a little more specific? And usually 24, 48 hours, most of the time the papers come back sooner, but I just don't want anybody to wait till the last minute. So let's just make sure that everyone sends it in early and has plenty of time. We have live sessions as well. You'll go to tccd.mywconline.com to schedule an appointment, and you'll want to select the Northeast Writing Center. And here is what that page looks like. And you'll use your TCC email address, and you'll create a password when you first go in. You'll set up an account, and you'll choose the Northeast Writing Center. And then here's what the schedule page looks like. So once you have that account, you'll go in, any of the white squares are open, you click, it'll open a pop-up window, you can upload your document, and that is the same way you'll get into that session when it comes time for that appointment. So just remember, the tutor will be waiting, so don't be late. And in these appointments we'll have, and there's also a whiteboard, so you can see your essay and we'll talk together at the same time and be able to mark on that essay as well. We also have a Blackboard Club site, and it will link you to these two methods to send your papers in, and it also has all of our handouts and materials, and it's under organizations. You'll join at any ALC through Blackboard. We also have a research guide through the library, and you can do a general search in the library research guides from their homepage. This is our homepage, and you'll see it has the links for the online and then also the email submissions. And we have all sorts of handouts and materials and some workshop videos. We're there to help, so let us know. Please send your essays in, and we're happy to work with you. And best of luck, and hope to see you soon.
Hello, students. Thank you so much for joining this virtual event. My name is Carolina Sala. I'm an academic advisor, and I work in the Advising Counseling Center. As you begin thinking about transferring to the university, I want to share with you a few things that you need to do to begin the process. You can begin applying a year in advance, so do not hesitate in applying early. First, you apply to the college university of your choice. You can go to the university website and click on their admissions link and apply. There is an application fee, and the application fee varies from university. This can get costly if you're applying to more than one college. There will be a prompt question by the application fee, and it will ask you, do you feel that your financial circumstances might qualify you for an application fee waiver? It will have an option for you to click yes or no. So if you click on yes, it will take you to learn more about getting an application fee waiver. Another way you could apply is you can also go to applytexas.org. Like I said, you may be interested in more than one university, and this allows you to apply to several colleges, university, all in one place. Next, let's talk about official transcript. You are required to submit official transcript to each college that you're applying to. To request an official transcript from Tarrant County College, you will need to log into WebAdvisor, click on the student menu bar, go to the heading Student Record Services, and underneath that heading, there's a link titled Official Transcript Request. The fee is $2. Make sure that you don't forget to submit your final transcript the last semester that you're enrolled at TCC. Next, we'll talk about college resume. If you do not have one, it is best to get one going. You want to include the following information: your name, address, and email, your cumulative GPA. You definitely want to include a list of all your accomplishments, academic awards such as being on the Dean's List, any student organization that you were involved in as an active member or officer in a leadership position. Definitely include relevant jobs, internships. This shows that you're actively working towards future goals. Community involvement, volunteer work, this is so essential, as this allows, it shows that you value the well-being of others, that you made time in your busy life to focus on serving others. Leadership experience, you can get that right here at the college at TCC by actively getting involved. Any extracurricular activities that you enjoy doing, share that in your college resume. This gives whoever is viewing your college resume get to know who you are. You can get help in with your college resume at our Northeast Career Services. Angela Peña is our Northeast Career Services Coordinator. Their email is necareerservices@tccd.edu. As you will hear shortly from our student testimonials, the personal essay is extremely important. It needs to be error-free. It is crucial that you allow yourself plenty of time to work on your essay. You want to seek help from our Writing Center. In a few moments, we will hear Professor Amanda Brotherton provide you with valuable information on how to write a personal essay, things to include in the how you can shine through the written word. Along with the essay, you will need at least 2 to 3 letters of recommendation. These can come from academic sources, such as your professor and someone who knows you well in the area of employment or volunteer. I advise you strongly to get to know your professors. You want them to be able to write specific information about you as a student, on how you performed in the classroom and how you interacted with your classmates. Allow them plenty of advance notice to write these letters. Some colleges want the professors to email the reference letters directly to them, so make sure you provide your professors accurate email addresses and instructions. Now let's go ahead and talk about transfer scholarships. These scholarships are very competitive. Many of them are merit-based scholarships, which means they're based on academic performance. Usually they require at least a 3.5 cumulative GPA and other requirements such as specific hours completed. I can give you an example of one. SMU offers 10 full tuition scholarships for community college students. The criteria is the student must have at least a cumulative GPA of a 3.7 and have completed at least 50 hours of transferable work. There are many other universities such as UT Arlington, University of North Texas, Texas Christian University, Texas Wesleyan, Texas Women's, and so many others. There's also scholarships for out-of-state universities. Many of these scholarship deadlines are in February, March, and April, so it is best to apply early. And like I said in the beginning of this presentation, you can apply to the college university of your choice a year in advance. Financial aid. In addition to scholarship, I strongly recommend that you apply for financial aid. There is no application fee. You can begin applying for financial aid on October 1st for the following year. And our last follow-up, please make sure that you're checking your email for all correspondence from the universities that you have applied to. This is so important because many of our students forget, and usually you'll get some type of response within about 2 weeks or less. All this information that has been presented for you today will be posted on Blackboard on the Student Success Organization. Before this event is over, Professor Brotherton will walk you through the steps and how to get access, and will also go ahead and provide you with all this information on the Student Success Organization on Blackboard. So you're probably asking yourself, where can I get assistance about transfer information, about accessing scholarship? How do I get in contact with university representatives? We have a wonderful transfer center here at Northeast Campus, coordinated by Mrs. Brittany Hollis. You can contact the Northeast Transfer Center at ne.transfercenter@tccd.edu. She will be able to provide you with all the information about virtual events that are taking place right now this semester with colleges, university, about applying, about scholarship opportunities, and other transfer information. A word of advice, and I give this to all my students, begin the process early. Seek help, we're here for you. I hope this information has been helpful to you as you continue to work on your college journey here at TCC. I want to share with you the following flyer of the scheduled virtual events that our Transfer Center is offering to our students. As you can see from the screen here, there are many events that are going to take place. For the month of October, there's one that I think that you would be interested in. It says Small School, Big Opportunities. That's on Wednesday, October 14 at 1 p.m. And there's the link. There's other events, Business Jeopardy. If you're interested in the health professions and engineering, there's an event with that information, social behavioral science. One that I strongly recommend that you attend is the Scholarship Showcase. That's on Thursday, October 22nd at 2 p.m. This is where you're going to get some information about transfer scholarships. And there's a big one coming up and next month November, transfer admission application days. Some of these universities might waive the application fee. There's also the North Texas Transfer Fair. Again, this is all virtual, so make sure that you have time to attend. This is going to be a these are great virtual events taking place this semester. And on the bottom, you can see that you have all the emails of each transfer center from each campus. So if you're attending TCC Connect campus, it has the email there and their phone number, the Northeast, Northwest, South, Southeast, and Trinity River campus. Again, all this information will be posted in our Student Success Organization page, and we will inform you of how to go about in accessing that. Thank you so much for your time.
Now we're going to start our question and answer session. If anybody has questions about any of the TCC Foundation, Phi Theta Kappa, library services, the Academic Learning Center, or the Transfer Center resources, we'd be happy to answer questions for you on those. Feel free to type those into the Q&A chat here on your team session. I see that we've got one question for our library staff, and the question is, how does a student obtain a loaned technology device? How and when does the student return this device? So we can shoot this over to Samantha in Library Services and get that answer from her.
Hello. To request the device, you are going to go to library.tccd.edu/devices, and there's a short form for you to fill out. So you'll fill that out, and then shortly after that, you will receive a phone call or an email from the library with details on how to pick it up. Our curbside pickup hours are Monday and Tuesday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., and Wednesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that is when most people pick up devices, but if those times do not work for you, you can contact us and we can set up another time. The due date is at the end of the semester, and we will, for students enrolled for the following semester, we go and we extend the due dates for the end of the next semester. And to return the device, you'll just drop them in the book drop, but you'll make sure to place it in a padded envelope. And we have padded envelopes right beside the book drop that you can place the device in.
Thank you, Samantha. We've got another question here for the Learning Center. So we'll send this one over to Elizabeth Parrish. I've got two questions, actually. The first question is, how does a student make a virtual appointment with the Writing Center? And is this a video conference?
The appointments are through the WC Online, and you can use your camera if you want. We definitely have the microphone on, but most students choose to have their camera off, but we can if you'd like to. But we're both there at the same time, and there's a whiteboard that's part of the program. So what we do is upload your paper or outline or whatever you're working on into that whiteboard, and then we can type on it and you can type on it, and the program colors them. It highlights them in different colors so you can see where I'm typing and if you type something. And there's also a chat feature. So it has, you can ask questions and we can answer them. And the great thing about it is you can go back into the session later and see all those highlights and all those notes. So it keeps them there, which is one of the reasons that we chose to go with WC Online during the working from home time. And the other option is the email submissions. That is not live, so you can submit that at any time, and then we take those as a first come, first serve basis. So and I always say, make sure that you're not sending it in and needing it an hour later, because that probably will not happen. But we do have people working from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, and we'll take those as they come in, so you can submit it. But if you submit it at midnight, no one will see it till the next morning at 8. So just remember that. Give yourself time. Don't put it in at midnight and think, oh, I'll get this back at 8 in the morning, turn it in at 8:30, and I'm done, because that probably will not happen. But that's the email submission is a great way to do it. If you're working on something on the weekend and you want feedback, you can go ahead and submit it. It's there, you'll get it back. And then the live sessions, you're locked into a specific time. So those are a little more, if you have limited time, you may want to do the email submission. But if you are able to make a live appointment, then that's great, because we can talk to you about it. And you can do both for the same paper. There's no limit on the number of times that you get help on a document. And especially with scholarship essays, you probably want to get several sessions with that, and you can be either way.
All right. Our next question for you, Elizabeth, kind of ties into that, and they'd like to know how far in advance should they make an appointment for one of the virtual meetings?
You can make them, I think the system cuts it off 2 hours before the appointment starts. So you can, if you want to make something at noon, as long as you're in by 10, you can make that appointment. And there's no, really, it's just as they fill up. So right now we have a set number of live sessions, just because we have to cover live sessions and the online sessions. So I would, if you want to make it several weeks in advance, that's fine, but you can do day of. So there's not any limit as far as that. It's more how many people we have available to help, and just as they fill up. But if you know a couple weeks down the road you have a midterm assignment due, go ahead and lock that appointment in, just so you don't have to worry about it. That'd be my best suggestion, but we're happy to help. And I always recommend start early, make the appointment as soon as you can. And it's fine too. You do not have to have a completely finished essay to have an appointment. So we've had some students make a live appointment and they just wanted to go over and kind of come up with an outline. They had a general idea, and so they didn't use the full session, but they took that time to just talk with the tutor and kind of get some ideas and sort of figure out where they were going to go with that essay, and have some general topic sentences sort of written, and then they made another appointment when they had some more written. But you're welcome to come in with just for brainstorming, or if you have the entire paper written and you want some help, you can do that. Or some students will come in with just a paragraph or two, or they may work on the body paragraphs one day and then may come back a few days later and work on their conclusion or something like that. So you're welcome to split that up, and there's no obligation for you to have a perfectly completed 5-paragraph essay when you come in. So, please feel free to come in for brainstorming, or if you have questions about how to do research, we can meet and talk with you about that and kind of give you some guidelines. So, always make the appointment and get help. And I think that's better than suffering and worrying. So talk to us. That's what we do.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. We've got one more question here, and I think this will go to Carolina because it has to do with transfer and advising. The student says, I'd like to transfer in the fall of 2021. When should I start applying?
You could start applying, like I said, a year in advance. So now start doing the application. When I was talking about those transferred scholarships, those merit-based scholarship, remember some of those, the criteria is having a specific GPA, cumulative is they're looking at 3.5 or higher, and also hours completed. Some of those scholarships are 45 hours completed, some of them are 50 hours completed or 57. We would need to look into what college, university you're interested in, looking at the criteria and see if you've met those requirements. But again, it's always good to start early, because there will be essays that you need to write for those scholarship, and that takes time. And you're going to hear shortly from our student testimonials that they started early, and before you know it, you know how fall, spring semester, they fly by, and then all of a sudden, wow, you just got just a couple of more weeks in, and now it's a new year. So again, I would begin early. a year in advance, start doing this now. Come right now, as you know, we're working remote from home, and so you can always contact our transfer center and schedule a virtual appointment. You can do, we do phone advisement, we could do the online chat, we can do the email advisement. So those are ways that you can contact us. And like I said, we're here to help you and be able to make that transfer process easy. And you do have to work hard for it, but we want you to give you the information that you need in order for it to be an easy process for you.
Excellent. Thank you, Carolina. We've got another question here, and I believe this is about the TCC Foundation. So we'll send this over to Mr. Schmidt. This question is, how much time should I set aside to fill out my application for the TCC Foundation?
That is actually an excellent question. It usually takes about an hour to 2 hours to complete the application, including the essay part. We ask a lot of questions because we only have one application to access over 170 different scholarships. So we've tried to make it as easy as possible on you so that you don't have to search those scholarships, but you do have to answer a lot of questions so that we can filter you to connect you with all of the scholarships that you could possibly qualify for. In addition, as mentioned, we do have a narrative that we're asking you to write from 300 to 600 words, basically describing yourself, your goals, your aspirations to the review committees so that they can learn more about you and what your educational goals are and what your plans are once you complete. It's definitely a good investment. Our average scholarship is full tuition for a semester, which is $960. So when you look at that on a per hour basis, that's a great investment of your time, and I encourage you to do that. And I also encourage everyone to take advantage of the incredible resources that are available to you. Not everyone has access to people that are as invested in your success as you have access to through Tarrant County College. Very appreciative of all of them, and please take advantage of those opportunities.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Schmidt. We've got one more question here for about Phi Theta Kappa. So this will go over to Janjura Williams. The question is, what do you think are the biggest benefits to being a part of an organization like Phi Theta Kappa?
So one of the biggest things is the transfer scholarships. Most people join Phi Theta Kappa because of the transfer scholarships. The other thing, I know you said one, but the other thing is connection. Studies show that students that are more connected at universities tend to do better in their schoolwork, as well as continuing their education. So Phi Theta Kappa probably would help you do both of those for sure. Most definitely the scholarship portion, getting transfer scholarships, applying for additional scholarships, but the connection as well to keep you grounded in classes.
Thank you so much, Janjura. Those were excellent questions. We so appreciate your input. Next up, we're going to move on to some more information, specifically a presentation over how to write your scholarship essays, as well as some testimonials from previous TCC students who have greatly benefited from the scholarship process. Hello. My name is Amanda Myers Brotherton, and I am an English instructor on the TCC Northeast campus. I'd like to share some information with you today about scholarship applications and essay writing. There are many common questions that scholarship organizations will ask you about, and I thought we could go over some of those today. One common question asked is about your field of specialization and academic plans. Some scholarship applications will ask you to write about your major or your field of study. These questions are used to determine how well you know your area of specialization and why you're interested in it. For example, they may ask you how your field of study will contribute to your immediate or long-range career plans, or why you're pursuing your field of study. They may also ask you to explain the importance of your major in today's society. These questions can also be geared towards current events and social issues. Scholarship organizations may ask you these questions to test your skills at problem solving and check how up to date you are on current issues. Many scholarship applications include questions about problems and issues facing society. For example, they may ask, what do you consider to be the single most important social problem and why? Or, if you had the authority to change your school or the world in a positive way, what specific changes would you make? Next, they may ask you about your background and influences. Who you are is closely tied to where you've been and who you've known. To learn more about you, some scholarship committees will ask you to write about your background and major influences. For example, they may ask you to pick an experience from your own life and explain how it has influenced your development, or who in your life has been your biggest influence and why. Consider the moments in your life that have stood out to you. Was there a real defining moment? If it's something that most high school or early college students go through, try to think of another rite of passage. Think about family, friends, volunteerism, work, jobs, and extracurricular activities. What stands out or is most important to your career goals? Who has had the biggest influence on you, career-wise, academically, or morally? Next, it makes sense that scholarship committees would ask you about your future plans and goals. Scholarship sponsors look for applicants with vision and motivation, so they might ask you about your goals and aspirations. For example, they may ask you to briefly describe your long and short-term goals, or where you see yourself in 10 years, or why you want to get a college education in general. In terms of your long and short-term goals, these questions may be phrased in several ways. How will your current education contribute to your overall career goals, etc.? Your answers should show that you do in fact have a plan for your future that corresponds to your degree plan. The scholarship committee wants to see that their money is going to a worthy cause, not someone who's just testing the waters in college. Create an answer that shows realistic goals that can be achieved through continued education. One of the most important questions you'll be asked is about your financial need. Many scholarship providers have a charitable goal. They want to provide money for students who are going to have trouble paying for college. In addition to asking for information about your financial situation, these committees may want a more detailed and personal account of your financial needs. For example, they may ask you from a financial standpoint, what impact would this scholarship have on your education? Or they may ask you to state any special personal or family circumstances that affect your need for financial assistance. Or they may ask you how you've been financing your college education thus far. When it comes to financial need questions, remember that this is not an opportunity to tell the scholarship a long story about a troubled life. Every person has their own struggles. It's how you overcome them that matters the most. When a financial need question arises, the scholarship committee mostly wants to understand which students have little to no resources for additional funding. For instance, if you're 25 years or older, you could explain how your age limits the number of college scholarships you can apply for. If you're enrolling in a specialized program, you may discuss the limited opportunities available in that degree field. You can highlight your low household income and limited family resources, but try to stay away from a negative mentality. Focus on what you've overcome and what you will do with their funding. Scholarships exist to reward and encourage achievement, so you shouldn't be surprised to find essay topics that ask you to brag a little bit about yourself. They may ask you to describe how you've demonstrated leadership abilities both in and out of school, or to discuss a special attribute or accomplishment that sets you apart from other candidates. They may also ask you to describe your most meaningful achievements and how they relate to your field of study and your future goals, or why you are a good candidate to receive this award. My number one advice here is to stay away from rehashing your high school transcripts, your resume, or extracurricular activities. They already have this information. Instead, think over the past few years and the defining moments in your life. Did you stand out in a subject that you're normally not good at? Talk about your struggles and how you overcame them. Don't be shy about celebrating the things that you have accomplished. A more difficult question may be, what are your biggest weaknesses? Since this is a scholarship application, you still want to create answers that will put you above other applicants. Always turn your weaknesses into opportunities. For example, you may write, I currently have limited knowledge in this area, but with my degree, I'll be able to, or I've not had the opportunity to gain these skills, but I look forward to adding them to my skill set. You may be sensing a trend here. Scholarship committees love solutions. Offering a solution shows that you are forward-thinking and intuitive, and both of these qualities are worthy of being rewarded. When it comes to writing prompts for scholarship applications, when all else fails, ask yourself why. Why are they asking me this question? What will my answers tell the scholarship committee about my life, my goals, and my future? What can I say that will show how worthy I am to accept this award? No matter what scholarship essay questions you come across, try to identify the underlying reasons behind the prompts. This will help you create the best answers to earn their financial support. Next, let's take a look at the actual process for writing your scholarship essays. Number 1, read all of the instructions before beginning your essay. While this may seem like common sense, many students rush through the instruction section before they start writing their scholarship essay. Why? Because reading instructions is not very fun, and many students are fairly pressed for time. Ultimately, excellent scholarship essays always adhere to the instructions. If you miss a requirement, your essay may be automatically discarded, meaning you spent all of that time writing for no gain. You should always examine the instructions to look for details that outline the process, including what topic you should cover, any formatting requirements, the due date, word count, and sourcing requirements. Before you begin writing, you always want to define who your audience is. The audience of a scholarship essay is whoever will be reading it, and catering the content of your essay to those groups of people will help create a successful essay. While you likely will not know exactly who is going to review your essay, you can infer a lot of information based on the organization or business that's providing the funds. For example, if you can discuss a topic that relates to a company's products, services, values, or mission statement, it may be easier to connect with the reader on a meaningful level. Typically, you can figure out the audience's priorities by reviewing the organization's website. Read through the product or service descriptions, through their About Us sections, as well as any mission statements to get insight into the group's values. Number 3, always brainstorm before writing your essays. In many cases, scholarship essay topics give you a lot of leeway regarding what you can write. In fact, you may be able to choose from multiple prompts, which sometimes can make it harder to figure out what a winning scholarship essay should look like. When writing a great essay, brainstorming is an important part of the process. You should grab a sheet of paper, list every topic or prompt, and jot down notes of examples that apply to each. Usually brainstorming only takes a few minutes, but it can make a world of difference when writing excellent scholarship essays. It allows you to organize your thoughts and identify ideas that excite you and the scholarship committee. Number 4, choose the right topic to cover. After you brainstorm, you should focus on topics that ignite your passion. If you're excited about the idea, it's often easier to write about it. Plus, your enthusiasm will shine through. Review the list of ideas and choose an option that piques interest and fits the prompt. This makes writing strong scholarship essays feel like less of a burden which can go a really long way when you want to apply to a long list of scholarships. Some key aspects to look for when selecting a topic include one that speaks to your core values, why the investment or the scholarship is worth it, and how it led you to your degree choice or career path. Number 5, always structure your essay clearly. Creating an outline is a smart move. Begin by structuring the introduction. Usually you'll want to have an attention-grabbing first sentence followed by a short explanation of what will be discussed and a thesis statement that directly addresses the prompt. Students can get creative here, but any story, question, or attention-grabbing beginning should clearly tie into the rest of the essay and, of course, relate to the prompt. Some common attention getters include a short narrative or personal story, a rhetorical question, which I might limit that to 1 to 2 questions only, effective statistics or facts, a quotation. Remember, sometimes providing a quote can be a cliche or overdone approach. You may want to avoid it unless the quote perfectly illustrates what you plan on proving in your essay. You could also use references to historical or current events as attention getters. Your body paragraphs come after your introduction. Each body paragraph should discuss a single point that relates to the topic, usually in a few sentences. If possible, it's a great idea to make the point through a mini story or example. This keeps the essay interesting for the reader and helps them understand the writer even better. For example, rather than saying, "I initially decided I wanted to be a lawyer in 9th grade," a student can instead share a quick story or example and sum it up with, "That is when I first discovered my passion for law." Also, having quality transitions between paragraphs is essential as it improves the flow of the essay. To structure this portion, you can write each point you want to cover and arrange them in an order that promotes readability and logical segues. Last, you will create a conclusion. The conclusion should wrap everything up by re-emphasizing how the prompt was addressed, discussing lessons learned, and even speaking to the core values of the audience. Depending on the essay prompt, you can stress how this essay shows you are a great candidate for the scholarship. Again, a few sentences will usually suffice. You may also want to consider relating what you have to offer professionally and personally if you receive the scholarship. Try to avoid cliches such as "before I knew it," or "without a doubt," or "the time of my life," or "needless to say." You may want to end by thanking the committee for the opportunity to apply. Some scholarships will not have a specific prompt or question for you to respond to, and in that case, use this approach. Always create an introduction that includes an attention getter and a thesis that clearly explains why you believe you should receive the scholarship. Your body paragraphs should always include topic and transition sentences. They should explain what you have to gain by getting the scholarship or why you need it. And the middle part of your essay might fully explain why you're a perfect candidate for that scholarship. Explain your interest and experience in your field of study. Demonstrate what you have to offer using concrete examples and experiences. Explain all of your qualifications and accomplishments with clarity and as specifically as possible. Lastly, you should conclude by explaining what you have to offer personally and professionally if you receive the award. Always avoid cliches, and you may want to end by thanking the committee for the opportunity to apply. Number 7, writing your first draft. With your outline in hand, now you have a guide for writing a high-quality first draft of your essay. How you decide to approach this phase may depend on your personal style. Some students like to begin with the introduction, move through the body, and then create a conclusion. However, others may prefer to write the body first, then craft the introduction and conclusion after. Both approaches are perfectly acceptable as long as the final paper flows logically. First drafts are allowed to be rough, so it is fine if you let your ideas run while you create. Let your passion guide you as you get your thoughts down on paper. It is also okay to ignore spelling or grammar errors as you write, as these can be cleaned up during editing. Focus on your ideas while writing your draft. Number 8, refining and editing your draft. Once everything is written, now is the time to refine your content. First, you should correct any mechanical issues like spelling, punctuation, or grammar mistakes. There are a variety of tools that you can use to do that, but it's also important to not rely solely on technology. A great approach for finding errors is to read the essay out loud. This allows you to potentially hear problems, which can be easier than spotting them with your eyes. In the vast majority of cases, winning scholarship essays are error-free, so finding mistakes and correcting them is critical to your success. Once the errors are corrected, the draft can be reviewed for flow. Ideally, each paragraph should shift naturally into the next, following a logical thought pattern or progression through an event. If a transition feels awkward or a detail feels out of place or unnecessary, then edits should be made. After that's complete, you should recheck it a final time to ensure that all of the requirements set forth in the instructions are met. This includes everything from properly covering the topic to meeting the word count minimums and not going over the maximums. Also, you should take a look at the formatting to make sure you use the proper font and size, margins, spacing, and anything else listed in the instructions. Number 9, get an outside opinion. After your draft is edited, it's time to get a second opinion. Often it will be very difficult for you to review your own essay objectively, so having someone else take a look is always a great idea. First, teachers and tutors. If you have experience with instructors, professors, or tutors who you trust as editors, you may want them to look at your work. Next, parents, family, or friends. People you know can be a good choice if their writing skills are strong. But some students will not be comfortable with their parents or someone they know personally reading what they wrote, depending on the topic. In those cases, selecting someone else is a better option than trying to force the issue. Lastly, the Academic Learning Center. The Academic Learning Center on the Northeast campus is an amazing resource where you can get help with your writing. Number 10, finalize and submit your essay. Once your essay is reviewed by someone else, you should make any final edits based on the feedback you receive. Then, once it's ready, it's time to submit the scholarship application and essay for consideration. I hope these tips are helpful as you apply for scholarships and write your essays. Always remember that TCC has many resources designed to help you through this process and faculty and staff who care about you and your future. Please remember these wise words from former First Lady Michelle Obama. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Nobody gets through college on their own.
Hey guys, my name is Stanley and I am a first year medical student here at Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis. I came to the United States in 2012 and had to work a little bit before I started college. I started at TCC the summer of 2013, after which I took some classes and then transferred to Benedict University where I finished my undergrad in neuroscience. Now I am here at Washington University in medical school. I was lucky to get a scholarship to go to Vanderbilt. Part of it was because of my grades and my personal statement, and as well as my community services. With grades, definitely everyone, we all have to put in the work to get good grades. For my personal statement, I had to figure out a way to share my story in a very effective way. part of knowing that was from having a mentor that actually encouraged me to share my story. I am a very private person and was having a really hard time putting my story out there. But this mentor of mine actually encouraged me to do that. Being that like by sharing one story, you can actually impact other people's lives. They can learn something from you. And that's the reason why I actually did that. Going into writing the actual essays though, I had a little bit of trouble actually with English language. It's not my first language. So I had an army of people that that helped me with reviewing my essays and actually like going through them, checking the grammar and kind of like giving me advice on what I could change in the essays. So they were really helpful. And the next thing is the community service part. I think scholarship committees are looking for people that are out there in their communities doing something, somehow changing something for good. I got the opportunity to be part of my community through PTK. It's an honor society at TCC at the time. You get invited to join. I would encourage anyone that got invited to join to actually join it because I got more exposure being a part of PTK. I got to be part of the community, organizing stuff, and making some kind of impact in the community. So being a part of PTK also helped me with my leadership skills. I became the president of PTK during my time at TCC, and that exposed me to a lot of things, got me to be in contact with a lot of people. So that was really helpful. I would encourage each and every one of you to stay focused on your studies. You have a goal in mind and work towards it, stay focused. And it would help you also to seek help when you need it. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are willing to help you, you just have to ask. Find a mentor, find someone that can actually direct you towards your goal. I had a very good mentor. I had multiple mentors actually, but the particular one that actually impacted my life in a very big way was Professor Douglas. He might be out there in the audience. He really shaped my life in ways that a lot of people I could not imagine, honestly. He was very instrumental in actually telling me things that I should seek out in order to make myself competitive in my application process. He encouraged me to reach out to schools that I was going to apply to, reach out to the financial aid office, talk to anyone I could in the school, just to get that relationship going.
My name is Cesar Baltazar, and I am currently studying my MBA in Management at the University of North Texas. I recently also graduated from the University of North Texas with my Bachelor's in Business Administration in Marketing and my Bachelor's of Arts in Spanish. Before that, I graduated from TCC with my associate's degree, and doing that transition of going from TCC to UNT, I was, as anyone else who's probably attending this event, looking for opportunities on how exactly can I afford to pay all this tuition and board at this four-year university. And so then I am grateful to say that I was granted the 2017 Terry Transfer Scholarship, which allowed me to pay for the entirety of my tuition and board during my undergraduate career. It paid me a total of $16,000 on a yearly basis to pay for all my expenses and still gave me leftover money. Not only that, but it also gave me $5,000 study abroad stipend that allowed me to go abroad and study a whole summer in Spain. Now that I've given you a little bit of my background, the best advice that I can give you about your scholarship writing is 1, proofread, be diligent, because sometimes there are really small margins between who gets the scholarship and who doesn't. And you'll be amazed by how so that punctuation does play an important factor with that. The reason behind it is because your punctuation tells the story of how diligent and thorough you are with small details. How is it that you decided to put a semicolon over just a comma? Or how is it that you took the time of how can you make transitions better instead of being so repetitive? And so then, even though you don't think about it, readers do take this into consideration. And therefore, I encourage you to use the resources available to you at TCC. So the Learning Center, the Writing Center, your professors, colleagues, everyone that could help you proofread and help you with that small detailing aspect will definitely put you ahead of the game with other applicants. Then on top of that, number 2, you want to be really transparent. You want to put down, you of course want to make sure that you answer the prompt of the essay, but you also want to be sure to make the reader see you through the paper, see who you are. What are your qualities? What are your experiences? How do you stand out? What are your passions? And how this scholarship will satisfy the financial need that you have in order to pursue that goal and passion that you want. And thirdly, take small breaks. Make sure you develop a timeline between how long it will take you to write your essay, how long is it before it's due, and make sure that you put small breaks in between that, because essays can be really tedious and it can actually take you a lot longer to get started than to actually do it, and you'll be amazed by that. And so then set up those timelines and make sure that those are hard timelines. Make sure that you stay consistent with them. And also in all this, once again, take small breaks in between your essays, because once you read your essay over and over, you might be missing small details that you can definitely improve a lot on. So take 2 days off or maybe 1 day off and then look at it again from the view of being a critic and see how you can improve your writing a lot and see how so that you can make it more competitive. With all that being said, thank you for allowing me to give you some information, and I wish you the best of luck with all your future applications. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Sala. I'm a senior at Texas Christian University, and I am graduating this fall. So I'm graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Strategic Communication, and TCU has given me some great opportunities. Right now, I'm a current Walker Social Media Fellow at the National Audubon Society, along with being the Director of Social Media for Texas Christian University's student-run ad and PR agency. So I graduated from TCC Northeast Campus in the spring of 2018 with an Associate of Arts and Honors degree. And I was able to attend TCU by receiving the Transfer Provost Scholarship Award in the amount of $105,000. So I'll be telling you a little bit of my experience at TCC and my transfer process. So I started my journey at TCC by being accepted and being enrolled in the Cornerstone Honors Degree program. And there I took honors classes and spent a lot of my time volunteering with people in the program. And I also took on leadership roles. I became vice president in my second semester, and then I later became co-president. And so also during my second semester at TCC, I became involved with Phi Theta Kappa, our chapter on campus at TCC Northeast Campus. And so it's an amazing organization. I know we've mentioned it here before, and I definitely recommend you all becoming a part of it because it provides you with so many scholarship opportunities and leadership abilities as well. So I soon applied in my second year. I applied to being on the board, and I became the vice president of public relations. And just during that experience with Phi Theta Kappa, I was able to attend conferences and just grow in my leadership abilities on campus. And I also joined Student Government Association as a parliamentarian, also attended conferences and also just grew in my leadership abilities and connecting with the students on campus and even the administration on campus, which is just a great opportunity. And I also joined the National Society of Leadership and Success, just great leadership right there, just really honing in on different leadership styles. And I was also a member of several on-campus student organizations, including OLAS, Organization of Latin American Students, which I definitely recommend. It's a wonderful organization. And also for my last 2 semesters, I was involved with a collegiate newspaper. I was also its staff photographer, along with writing for the newspaper as well. Such a great newspaper. And so I say all this because all these organizations and clubs helped me as I applied to both scholarships and colleges, especially in the essay section. Colleges want to see that you are being involved and doing things other than attending class, so they know that you'll thrive at their university. So they will have those sections specifically on their application for extracurricular activities and volunteer activities. And so colleges and scholarships want to see that you're volunteering, whether you're on campus and in the community. And so I was involved with the TCC food pantry and a local pet food bank called Don't Forget to Feed Me. So I just definitely recommend volunteering as well. So scholarships and colleges in general are just looking for signs of leadership and extracurricular activities. Again, those will be on those applications and on your resume as well. So definitely put all of that on your resume. Being involved both on and on campus is just so important and are great options. Now, as for the process itself, again, just taking your experiences through all those extracurricular activities and programs that you've been involved both in and off campus and writing them in a creative way that just tells your story is just so important. So I definitely recommend going to the Writing Center here. They help out so much in crafting that and asking advisors and the Transfer Center for help. I went to so many advisors here. I had my own advisor, of course, but there's so many that are willing to help, and the Transfer Center itself. I was there very often. So they also help you find scholarships themselves that you may not even know about, because it's such a great place to start when you just don't know much about the amount of opportunities and scholarships that are out there, and they just really help you in that aspect. And so they know so much about the application process and just all the available scholarships there. They definitely helped me out so much, so I recommend that. And also, so colleges and scholarships are also going to be asking for letters of recommendations. So really get to know your professors so that they can talk about just the specific things about you for your letters, whether it's your leadership abilities in class or that they'll know that you're going to thrive in a four-year university. That's really what they're looking for. So again, just going to their office hours, making that connections with them. Of course, doing well in class, but again, just knowing your professors very well just really helps you out a lot, because they can also help you for scholarships and colleges as well. And I definitely also recommend that you apply early. I graduated in the spring of 2018, so I was applying around November, but I could have started earlier. So I definitely recommend you just taking that time, because writing the essays is so important. Some essays, I applied for one scholarship called the Jack Kent Cooke Undergraduate Transfer Scholarship, and they had essays on there that were about over 1,000 words and even more. So those took time. It really had to hone in on exactly what was I looking for, what were they looking for, and what I had to offer. So that took a while. And also getting your recommendation letters. You need to let your professors to have time to write your recommendation letters. So you, again, starting that process early, it just gives you just also plenty of time, so you won't be stressing out in the end getting all your things together. So again, start early. And definitely, so overall, I just definitely recommend you just to take advantage of all the opportunities that TCC gives you. There's just so many opportunities, from the advisors on campus to Transfer Center to being involved on so many student organizations, Phi Theta Kappa, and others as well, just to hone and find yourself and find your leadership abilities there that will transfer over when you transfer to your four-year university. And again, getting that process early. So overall, TCC was just a wonderful experience for me. It's been an amazing experience there, and I do love TCU, and I made so many wonderful friends at TCC that continue with you even through my 4-year journey here. So definitely take advantage of all the opportunities and just enjoy all the time you have at TCC, because it's such a great opportunity just transferring there. And it helps you to tell your story. Again, when you transfer, a lot of them really enjoy seeing community colleges. I know TCU and TCC have a great relationship there from transferring there. So that definitely helped. So you're in a great opportunity in place right now. So definitely take advantage of it. And yes, so overall, do we have any questions going forward?
Yes, Gabrielle, we've got one really excellent question, and that is, how important is volunteering for my college application and scholarship? I work full-time, I can't volunteer, what should I do?
Definitely. So on that, colleges in general really want to see that you're doing something other than taking classes. So working full time, that's a great thing right there, because they know that you're handling both school and working full time. So just finding a way to write that creatively, adding that both in your resume and writing that in your essay is just so important to have that. So definitely, I do think volunteering at any kind of possible way, even small way, can be important. Maybe on a weekend, but definitely just find different ways to write that you're working full time, because that just shows a lot there. It shows that you're handling both college and everything that comes along with that, along with a full-time job. So I think still you're in a great opportunity there, and you can definitely say that again in your application process and even interviews for scholarships. So that really works well a lot. Even some ways maybe you can get involved with your job itself, if that even has opportunities there. If you do try to do volunteerism, I definitely recommend kind of sticking to one thing, to one organization that you're really passionate about. So that's been helped me a lot, even if it's on campus, just like a short, maybe hour or two a week. But again, just finding those creative ways to write that you are working full time and that you can handle, of course, the course load at being in a 4-year university from working full time at TCC is so important.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Gabrielle, for joining us today and sharing your experience and such excellent information on scholarship. And congratulations to you and all of your accomplishments. We're so very proud. To all of you viewing, we hope this information has been helpful. Feel free to join the Northeast Student Success Organization on Blackboard for access to all of these materials and more information. We're so thankful to Mr. Bruce Grinstead and the TCC IT department and Mr. Fred Schmidt and the TCC Foundation for all they do for students and events like this. We would also like to thank Janjura Williams and Phi Theta Kappa, Samantha Kayem and Library Services, Elizabeth Parrish and the Academic Learning Center, Carolina Sala and the Transfer Center and Advising, as well as the entire Student Success Committee for helping to make this event possible. We also offer a big thank you to our former students who provided us with testimonials, including Gabrielle Sala for joining us live. We're always excited to see our former TCC students go on to such bright futures. We hope that all of you watching have learned some useful information today that will help you in your educational journey. Everyone at TCC is dedicated to supporting your success by providing a meaningful and enriching college experience. Again, thank you for your time. We wish you the best, and in terms of all your pursuits in education and your future goals, have a great day.